Welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast. Did you know that plants are truly amazing? Not only can you grow them and eat them, you can also wear them, drink them, nourish your skin with them, and so much more. Let Ellen and Michael inspire you to love plants as much as they do, as they chat with the movers and shakers in this wonderful plant-based world. So, let's dig in.
Foliage plants are everywhere, but I want something more. I want bright, cheerful colours. I want to design with plants. I want Kalanchoe. We've hooked up with the experts at Always Kalanchoe to bring you the first half of the series of the Plant-Based Podcast. You can find out more about these wonderful houseplants by following them on Instagram. You'll find them under Always Kalanchoe. Let us know when you've grabbed yours and where you put it. Welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast News.
Your horticultural news roundup for the week.
First up, there's some hope in the form of a few positive environmental stories. A recent BBC report reminded us that a reduction in sulfur dioxide emissions, a healing of the ozone layer, and a reduction in leaded petrol have all taken place over the last 30 years. With this in mind, perhaps today's challenges might seem that little bit more achievable.
Let's hope so. Office workers perform best when working from a garden office, as researched by a neuroscientist. Reported in Horticultural Week, garden offices can be beneficial for working due to less distractions, separating your personal and workspace, and of course, you'll be surrounded by nature.
Architects could soon be designing homes using nothing but biomaterials. This is according to bio-based creation CEO Lucas Deman. He believes that natural products such as timber, hemp, straw, and mycelium could completely replace polluting, non-renewable materials. Deman is behind an all-natural show home being built at this year's Dutch Design Week.
A new rose named after one of UK's first documented black gardeners is believed to be the first rose named after an ethnic minority person of colour in the UK. John Weiss Stumlin was abducted in 1746 as a child in Western Africa to be raised and work in North Wales. He became a servant in the household of the Wynne family of Weiss Stumlin, whose estate he was named after, and he learned horticulture in the gardens. John was the first well-recorded black person of the era to live in the region, and the rose is in celebration of his life.
There are tons of new bulbs on the block right now. Farmer Gracie's new range features a pincushion, fully double anemone in lots of different colours, and a rather fetching tulip with slender petals called Go-Go Red. Why not go and check out the full range now?
A seemingly lifeless desert has sprung into life and transformed into a purple oasis. The sand dunes of Chile's Atacama are the driest place on earth, but the tiny purple flowers are flowering on. Their seeds survive through the crazy hot summers in a region that sees less than an inch of rain every year. But what makes this year's bloom even more impressive is that there's been a drought in recent months. More than 200 species of plant, many of which exist nowhere else on the planet, are known to be able to cling to life in these kinds of conditions. Hey MP, how was your birthday? How was your birthday? How was your birthday? How was your birthday? How was your birthday?
My birthday was wonderful.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday for Sunday. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, blimey. Have you had a coffee? I tell you what, I've just drunk, Ellen Mary.
What?
Campari and espresso.
Oh, my. You've had Campari and espresso.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? That's why I don't need a filter on this face anymore. I'm just looking at myself in the Zoom camera. I'm thinking, is that really my face?
You have beautiful, glowing skin and rosy cheeks.
Anyway, thank you for the birthday wishes. You'll see that 50% of my balloons are still up on the wall because they spell out the word happy. And of course, you know, I'm the sort of person that needs affirmations on my wall.
Yeah, you strike me as the kind of person that needs affirmations in your life.
I want one of those live, laugh in the toilet or something. I know that'll get taken out, whatever. Anyway, carry on.
Tell us what you've done for your birthday, though.
Oh, nothing. Just watched Netflix. No, but also did a load of fantastic things. What did we do? Well, on the Saturday, funny you should ask, I did the ice bath therapy.
Yeah.
Would you do that? You would do that because you're open-minded, even though you don't like the cold.
Yeah. Totally.
So that was pretty cool. I didn't see Jesus, but I'm hoping next time I might. But the breathing therapy was really cool. Oh, my God. And there was this, you're kind of like obviously training to, you know, increase your capacity, etc. And there's this test where you're holding your breath and like when you then go through like, you know, the 3 different sequences and then you can hold it longer and it's like, and you don't let it go until your body wants to, not your mind. It's just, yeah, it's fantastic. So that was a good start. And then,
it must be like overall really amazing for your well-being to do that. So not just like physically, but mentally as well. Like many people who go through those breathing techniques, like the real training, even say that makes them feel more connected, you know, with like the world and everything. So it's very cool.
Just in the moment, you know.
Yeah. I've never obviously done the ice bath like you did, but one New Year's Eve, I did go in Lake Windermere at midnight, and I can tell you that was like ice.
Yeah, but good for you. Nude? Were you nude?
No, I wasn't nude, no.
I wasn't nude. I know that's probably on the list of questions I'm not allowed to ask on a live podcast. But
No, but I wasn't. No. I had leggings and then like a sport top on, and I just really wanted to do it, and it was so cold. Oh my gosh! But yeah, it was invigorating.
Okay. Then on Sunday, I had a rather delicious breakfast by a lake. You know, Ellen, like I don't know if you get this being a vegan, but you know when they serve you up a breakfast where there's more than you think you can eat?
You are a knob.
But that's how I felt. And then just did some wonderful things in the day. Actually popped into Wicken Hall. Do you remember where we interviewed Silver Pebble?
Yeah.
I wanted to walk in that forest, but I couldn't find it.
I think we went like across a road, didn't we? We left and had to go across a road.
I can't remember if we drove to it or not.
No, we went through a gate. We went through a gate. I'm sure of it.
I'm not sure, but anyway.
But it is lovely there, so that would have been nice.
Yeah, I think it was closed for cleaning anyway. So, yeah, and then the evening had a really nice meal at a really lovely place, and yeah, it was cool.
Oh, and you were treated like, I love the photograph you posted where you were in bed with all your balloons.
I know. And I was, just to prove how agile my mind is, Ellen Mary, I was like, the balloons were all poured on top of me and then I was picking them up and spelling out words, all sorts of 3-letter words. And it was like this old, you know, there used to be a word game in the Sun newspaper. I'm not going to be, you know, ashamed to say it, but my parents would read when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I turned out amazing, though. And yeah, this word game, what's it called? The Sun, something. And it's like a dial. No, it's a dial, isn't it? I think it's called sundial. And you have like this circular thing and you then have to make as many words as you can out of that. And you get more points if it's 5 letters. I'm sure someone listening will know what we're talking about anyway. And they'll show themselves up to be a Sun newspaper reader at the same time.
I've never read it, I don't think. But I think my parents did when I was younger.
I think, to be honest, like, slightly to defend our parents, I guess, but I think it was kind of like the paper of the day for a long time, wasn't it?
I don't really know, but also maybe working class. My family is very working class.
The paper of the day for working class, yeah.
And like, nothing to do with page 3, obviously.
No. But then the worst one would always be the Daily Star, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Daily Star.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing? I don't really know.
That was the one that like they would look down on. Yeah. Oh my God, Ellen Mary, how are you? You've been seeing a lot of fall colour. Now, for any of our listeners that are in the UK, you will probably deny that you know what the word fall means. Because you hate Americanisms, don't you? Sorry, I don't know why it gets on my tits, that does, Ellen.
What, the people don't like the word?
People hate people using Americanisms. It's like, chill out, Jesus.
Well, at the end of the day, if you're in a country, you use the words that are used and understood better, and you absorb yourself in that, culture anyway. So you do, like, it's completely...
I'll never apologise, Ellen Mary.
Anyway, yes, fall colours. I have, for a few years, really, really wanted to go up on the Blue Ridge Parkway, which is, I think it's like a couple of 100 miles long. We didn't do the whole lot, but from all the way through like North Carolina up to Virginia. And then there's lots of different points where you can go to state parks or overlooks and you can see the fall colours. And it's interesting because, especially this year, we've had really warm weather in October. Yeah, so the colours are not at peak just yet. They are just before peak, and depending on what elevation you are depends on whether they're at their peak fall colour or not. And I'd been tracking it, so there's an online fall tracker where you can see during what dates at each different overlook or each different elevation where you're going to get the best autumn colour, right? And we'd planned to go the weekend before last, but there was a big red warning on the website that said because of the warm weather, all of the dates are at least 5 days behind. So we delayed it for another week. And
what a drama.
A big drama because people...
This is a long story. You haven't even got to the link
people yet. From all over the US come to the Blue Ridge Parkway to see the colours. So if you'd booked your holiday, you'd be really disappointed,
How long would the leaves stay there? Because some of them spaff quickly.
Not very long. Very long. It's over pretty quick. Yeah, once it cools down. Like, we've got a bit of a cooler spell coming. So I think we might even go back this weekend because it was amazing. Yeah. It was worth it. Totally worth it. So I think we might do another trip at the weekend and go to like a different part of the drive.
Did you make what's known as a reel?
I did make a reel and a TikTok video, yes.
Oh, I'll look forward to seeing those on the internet.
On internet, yes.
Oh, that's cool, Melon. I've been at Hollow Car filming a bit for Steph and talking about autumn colour to the head, what are they called? Do you know, when there's a curator of a garden, I just always want to call them a head gardener, but I think that's actually offensive to them, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know, is it?
I'm not sure. I need to get that right. But the curator / head gardener at Hollow Car, he's a really cool guy. He's a guy called Paul, and he was like, and I was sort of kind of interviewing him, and we had we were having a laugh, and we were kind of just gossiping in between all the takes. And so, like, we were just, like, rabbiting non-stop just about, plants and gossip and, like, who do you know? You know this, blah, blah, blah. It was really cool, actually.
That's very cool.
Why was I talking about that? I can't remember now. But it's quite interesting because we're talking, obviously, about some trees. They obviously spaff their leaves quite quickly. So, like, Euonymus alatus, this spindle bush, it goes red straight away. And then it literally drops within a week, whereas something like a liquid amber is going to go through the process and stay longer. Cherries, I didn't realise cherries, they drop really quickly as well. So
I absolutely love being able to pick up all the different colours of the leaves though, like making a little collage or something.
Oh,
That's so beautiful. Amazing, isn't it beautiful? And so we're on the way up, my husband was literally like, why does some go yellow? Why is some brown? Why is some red? Da, da, da. And we were talking about photosynthesis and the chlorophyll leaving the leaf and all of that stuff.
It's always there, isn't it?
Yeah, but when you think about it, I was saying that the brown leaf, if you like, is the structure. That is the leaf. It's like the green is also almost not the leaf, because that's when there's chlorophyll. Do you see what I mean? So that's like
someone's been writing a book.
No, not at all. But I was just
Are you just reading the paragraphs?
No. And I was just thinking to myself, well, really, surely the leaf is the brown leaf and not the green leaf. I don't know. Like, there you go. That was our discussion.
Well, the leaf is really the final autumn colour of the leaf, isn't it? That's the true colour,
That's what I
would say brown, but like the red.
Yeah, whatever is that last colour before it drops off, that is the colour of the leaf.
Cool.
Like, that's how I was kind of viewing it. And he was like, oh, wow, I never really thought about it like that. But anyway, talking about autumn plants, I'm going to tell you about my plant of the week. So, my plant of the week...
Oh, sorry, babe.
Did you just
Campari. It's just my Campari coming up. Right, go on. Plant of the week, Ella Mary.
Okay, so mine are great balls of chrysanthemums. I know we've mentioned chrysanthemums before on the podcast on numerous occasions because we both love them so much, don't we? But at this time of year, obviously, they've taken over from the dahlias. And lots of people buy chrysanthemums in pots, you know, to display for Halloween or just put outside their home.
Halloween!
Put some in the garden. But I done a piece on WCNC. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, it made me burp.
Burping.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So we were filming a piece about planting up a pumpkin for Halloween. So like making the hair with like funky plants. And if you carve out a pumpkin and actually stand a plant pot of chrysanthemums into the pumpkin, it looks like they've got big hair, which is really funky. And they had loads of chrysanthemums on the set, right? And they all look pretty much dead. And when I asked the cameraman, well, I actually said, your chrysanthemums need some water.
But people don't notice.
What would happen was the week before, a chrysanthemum expert had gone in onto the show and said you should water your chrysanthemums with filter water. Well, I would probably say that almost every plant would prefer rainwater or filter water to tap water, but that doesn't mean don't ever water your plants. So they'd taken that as we can't water them and we haven't had any rain. So they just literally left them. So you know, this really made me laugh. But if you have chrysanthemums, of course, filter water is best for practically every plant, I would think. But please water them, especially in pots. They really need it and they wilt really quickly. But don't throw them away. I always see here in the US, people buy great big pots of the great big balls of chrysanthemums all up their steps for Halloween. And then they're in the trash pile. Plant them in the garden. They're perennials. They are perennial. Put them in the garden.
Yeah, but I guess then they don't... But what about the reblooming? Because wouldn't they need some like blackout to get them to rebloom?
They'll rebloom next year.
Yeah? It's like a showmaker type. I don't know, because chrysanthemums, they always bloody confuse me. Because I got these ones, you know, the chrysanthemums direct, the ones that in curves. I got some of those from Chelsea, and I've potted them up into little pots. But I'm like, it feels wrong for me to say this, but I'm like, I don't know what to do next.
You know what? I think that's one of the reasons why people are put off by chrysanthemums, because there are different types and they do each require a slightly different way of like growing them. But these ones I'm talking about in the pots, you can literally just plant them outside. But
that's
there
what
are
I would call showmaker types.
Yes, exactly that. I think if you were to buy like chrysanthemums at like the garden shows or whatever, just check you know what one you're getting, and then once you know, it's easy to follow. Like you can even go on the RHS website and it literally lists out each type and how to look after it, you know. So anyway, my plant of the week is chrysanthemum.
Well, I've still got something to add to chrysanthemums.
Go.
I think they appreciate chrysanthemums, aka mums, so much more in North America than they do in the UK, though, because I particularly remember, I don't know how they're looking there, but in Canada, in Toronto, when I was last there, they plant a grass in the middle, a pennisetum, and it's like a firework coming through the middle of this ball of chrysanthemums. Yeah. And this is an amazing concept, but we just don't embrace this autumn planting whatsoever in the UK, do we?
No, we really don't.
We talked about that before. I don't know if it's because autumn's shorter, less predictable. Who knows? You know?
I don't know either, but chrysanthemums are very much embraced here, and it is really, really lovely to see. So yeah, we could definitely be doing more with them in the UK for sure.
Definitely. Okay, well, my plant of the week, Ella Mary, is cotinus, smoke bush, smoke tree, spaff machine. I love how I keep getting away with saying the word spaff on the podcast. But
so bad.
Oh my God, the autumn colours. I think, fight me with mud if you disagree, but Cotinus is the best autumn colour. It really
is beautiful. Yeah.
Let me show you this picture. You've probably seen it already on the socials, but it's just the colour variation is, oh my God. And you can put them into and I know it sounds a bit wet, Ella Mary, don't laugh at me, but it's quite mindful to kind of arrange them as well. And look at that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that.
Look at that. You've got green, purple, red, orange, yellow. This is one plant. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So my plant of the week is Cotinus.
There we go. So
Plain bush, smoke bush, spaff bush.
Excuse me, that is enough of spaffing.
Anyway, Ellen.
We've done autumn. We've done autumn, haven't we now?
Well, this time of year, I just hate, when the morning is dewy, yeah?
Yeah.
And so whenever you, leave your house, you just get wet instantly. Not from rain, but just from dew, brushing against your bush, your hebe, your rose. And I must admit, my plants are really overgrown to my garage now. So every time I just want to do something casual in the garage, heat up some milk, because foolishly I put my microwave in the garage thinking that would be a good idea, I just get everything wet. And of course, when you then grow, when you wear things like tracksuit bottoms, they're kind of they soak up the water. Who invented those? That's so stupid. But so I just hate this time of year when everything's just wet the minute you step outside.
I'm really sorry, but I've got to pick up on a different point as part of this discussion. You've put your microwave in the garage. Now, every time you need to use the microwave, you're going to have to leave your perfectly big kitchen where there's enough room for a microwave to go into the garage to heat up.
Exactly that. But it's not. I need the surfaces, Ellen.
You've got huge surfaces.
Have I?
You've got more than enough room. Oh my gosh. You're going to regret it when it's snowing and freezing cold.
Well, maybe. But to be fair, I would probably need to use it once a week. So, with that in mind, it's do I need that on the worktop, I don't know. I'm not a heavy microwave user anyway, Ellen Mary.
Well, that's
but sometimes when you need to heat milk or you need to melt wax strips for, waxing your hair out of your ears, then you need the microwave to be a little bit more accessible.
I can honestly say I've never done that, so I don't really know.
Hey, I've got a route to pull with you.
Go on then. Is it grey? Is it grey?
Is it great? You said you had a plant spreadsheet yesterday. Tell me about this, because I knew you were square. This is next level.
Oh my God, I can't believe you brought it up. So
a plant spreadsheet.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yes. So every time I buy a new plant for the allotment or for my garden or a house plant, I type the name of it into a spreadsheet on my Mac, so that I'm really bad at remembering names of anything, people, places,
so cute,
plants, whatever. I'm terrible. And so I have a spreadsheet that goes back to, I think, so it was when we were at our old cottage, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 years now, of all the plants that I've grown basically and killed. Yeah.
Do you delete entries as well?
No, I don't. It's not in the most perfect format. I'd love to have a column that says where exactly it was planted, or if I killed it, or how to look after it, a whole database.
This is a tally.
It is just a tally of all of the plants.
Cool, though. That's pretty cool, Ellen. But even now, all the houseplants that are in your house in Norwich, you've got those all on the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So if I stole them, then there would be some paper trail.
A, there'd be a paper trail, and B, I have webcams in the house, so
there'd be a soil trail as well, darling.
I would see you.
Oh my God! Oh, that's great. So, but now you must have have you got an extra tab for plants that are in America?
No, actually, do you know what? I don't. I've just literally added them all on the list. But that's what I mean. I think it would be really cool to ever have the time to sort it out and have it really wonderfully done, but I don't really have time for that. It's really just a reminder. And I think sometimes, even though you see a plant, and you can't remember the name, once you go to the spreadsheet, you will soon remember the name by looking at it without having to be reminded as to where you put it, when you bought it, all those other things. Just a bit of a reminder, really.
Well,
there you go.
I guess, some of those are alive, some of those are dead. That seems like a good time to talk about our fail of the week.
It does. Let's go for it. Fail of the week. What's yours?
Mine. I've got, okay, I'm going to set the scene, but immediately you're going to be disgusted. I've got this plant next to my bin, right? Which doesn't sound ideal. No. But, like in the kitchen where my bin is, and it's just by the window, under the window, and I've got two plants. I've got a weeping fig, Ficus benjamina, which usually are very hard to keep happy. But this one seems to be like having a merry old day.
It likes the bin.
It's honestly never given me any trouble whatsoever. But I've never been able to. So houseplants, they're unexplainable, really. But next to the weeping fig, I've got a philodendron Xanadu.
Right.
And flipping hell, does that plant hate me? Really? Oh my God. Can you grow that? Yeah.
Yes, much easier than the Ficus benjamina, to be honest. Like,
that's weird. I think, to be honest, I think it's got a virus. Because all the foliage is always unhappy.
Maybe it already had a virus when you bought it. I've had that happen before. And I've brought home plants and then later found mealybug and literally wanted to, throw it out of the window because that really stresses me out. But also, I do just think sometimes plants have a little personality of their own. Just We can't just expect them all to be, great stock. No. In the first place necessarily, but also I always say this, they won't always behave the way you want them to, but the thing is it's dicing with death because it's already next to the bin. It better watch out.
Oh my God. How about you?
I have got two fails of the week. One is my own and one is what I spotted on Instagram. I'm going to name and shame. No, I don't actually. I'm not going to name and shame. But I just told you how much I love chrysanthemums. And because we've got this new puppy that seems to take up every spare minute, especially early in the morning and late at night, I have not been watering on the balcony quite as much as I should. And I went out there the other day and I bought one of these lovely, huge, big, showy yellow chrysanthemums. Anyway, it had wilted to the point of almost death, and it has kind of reinvigorated itself.
It lost turgidity.
It's not gone back to its former glory. So, it happens to all of us. And online, I noticed that quite a few people were showing their garden fail Friday. And,
oh, really? I'd like to get on that.
And of course you would. And there was...
I put near the bin.
And quite a few people had posted how their sweet potatoes hadn't quite swollen and they were just like long, thin, spindly roots.
But not a good season, really, for that.
I don't know. I've got some growing on the allotment, so it would be...
I haven't dug them up.
No, I wouldn't dig them up yet, personally. I would wait a while longer.
Oh, really? When would you do that, then?
I would wait until after the first frost. And
okay. Cool.
Last year, I dug my sweet potatoes up when I got home from America in March, and they were perfect.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool.
I would be leaving them a while.
I couldn't find any tools anyway.
What, in the shed? Do you need my shed code?
Oh, yeah. So the shed wasn't open, yeah. So anyway, I'm not going to ask you. If you want to give it to me, you can give it to me.
I'm not going to give it to you on the podcast, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Why? Do you think someone's going to go and steal from your shed?
To be quite honest, there's nothing much in there apart from a whole load of junk. Pots and...
Sorry, I'm just watering my hyacinth.
Nothing of interest.
But I bought in Hempton Bridge, so it's likely the hyacinth is a lesbian.
What? Why has Hempton Bridge got to do with being a lesbian? I don't get it.
Well, I'm not going to offend anyone because you can look on Wikipedia and see this for yourself. It has the highest amount of same-sex relationships in the UK, this town in Yorkshire.
Right,
which
okay.
is really interesting. Yeah, I went there last week. It's quite a cool place. Very kind of arty, and it's like was regenerated a few years ago, and it's kind of, I don't think they necessarily can explain why it does have this kind of demographic, but it's really nice vibe, and I got a lovely hyacinth there.
Okay, interesting fact. Wikipedia, of course, can be relied on to be extremely factual.
Yeah, no, totally. So, anyway, tell me more about you.
I think I've just told you loads, really, to be honest. I don't think I've got much more to tell you. I've just been getting up super early, letting a puppy out for a wee, writing the book. It's a busy time of year. Autumn always
Have you not finished that rascal yet?
I've got about a third left.
Oh, God, that must feel nice, though, a third.
Yeah, it does. It does feel nice. It'll be finished
I've
within
got
about
half left.
And how many weeks have you got to finish it?
Like 2 or 3. But the worst thing is because I'd already been kind of sketching this book out, like even a couple of years ago, I had a fair bit kind of prepared already. But this 50% I've now got to do in the next few weeks, I've got nothing prepared on. So this is really from bones,
But at least you've done the first half, so you sort of know how it flows.
The flow and the drilling. Yeah. And like I say, compared to what you're doing, it's much like they're individual kind of elements. It's not like you're telling a story. So yeah. The one thing I will say about my book is I've most definitely learned that writing a practical book is not for me. Really?
So, I'm sure hopefully it'll be a really good book, but like to encourage beginner gardeners to get gardening. But I don't think the practical element of it just doesn't motivate me enough, to write. Do you know what I mean? So I've tried to put lots of really interesting information in it and just do some different funky stuff because that makes it nicer to write, but also, just to get people to enjoy gardening, if you've just started out, giving you some information. So I'm really pleased I've done it, encouraging more people to get into gardening 100%. But yeah, I think I kind of like a bit more of a flow when I write.
Okay. Awesome. Wow. They'll soon be available to purchase. I wonder if any of your fans will purchase one, Ellen Mary.
Well, I hope so.
Well, I will have to ask you then, who is your fan of the week?
My fan
jingle.
My fan of the week for plant-based podcast is View from the Potting Bench. He's super supportive. He's been
I've never seen so much enthusiasm. What a guy.
Yeah, he's super enthusiastic. He's been doing lots of lives, and then as part of the lives, I think he then makes them into podcasts and stuff as well, so you can hear them later.
Okay.
And generally just seems a really cool, supportive chap. So yeah, View from the Potting Bench. Go follow him.
I'm always intrigued by a lot of these guys because very often they've got a day job. And so what they do, this is in their spare, and I have such an admiration for them to fit that in and to have the passion and to then do that above, having a 9 to 5. I just think it's incredible. And my fan of the week is kind of similar guy. It's Man About Gardening. Oh my God, I'm going to not remember his name now. Luke. Do you know him? He does some really cool reels. And he wears grey sweatpants, which I've told him he needs to maybe not wear for reasons we don't mention. But they're just it's that creative energy. And just I think because we've been in the industry in horticulture for so long, I think we couldn't necessarily pull out that kind of, how to describe it? Not even, what word do I want here? Kind of, not innocence, but kind of real fresh eyes coming into it. Yeah. And with that, you'd get a different level of creativity that we could never provide to the audience. You know?
I get that. Yeah,
and that is what I think View from the Potting Bench is bringing, but also Man About Gardening as well. So it's really, it's nice to see those things, really.
It is. It's really cool.
And I think you started a podcast as well.
Right, okay. I think there's loads of them. I saw someone else today.
Well, I think, to be honest, Ellen Mary, we need to have a word, because if anyone is starting a podcast and we're we can't support them, because what if they take over us and the channel?
As long as we're in the top 10, we don't mind.
We have to kill them.
We'll go and trash their garden.
Yeah, exactly. No, of course, it's great because it's all the greater good of horticulture. And and I think everyone's coming at it from really different angles, which is really cool. So
it is really good. It's just so
they
much
are our fans of the
opportunity.
week.
They are. Cool.
Oh my God. Ellen, look at my propagation tray.
Mhm.
Actually, I'm not going to spin you around, but pretend you can see it.
Oh, okay.
Right. My dancing plant is almost 3 inches high.
Good. That's
And it
cool.
might dance soon. I've got grow lights on it. I'm such a grown-up. I've also got... I'm trying to do some cuttings of sunflowers. You know, Sunbelievable, the bushy one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a bit late in the season. I'm always late with everything. I've got a seedling Begonia evansiana, the hardy one,
Wow.
in the borders.
What, that you've grown from seed?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, and I've got some extra seedlings coming through, actually, of the dancing plant. I'm getting amazing germination on those. And Sparmania as well, which I think is the next big houseplant.
And so with that light I can see, is that grow light? There's sort of
I will spin you around, actually.
Is that what
You
I
deserve
can
to
see?
see this goodness.
Oh, yeah, there we are. That's super cute. I like it. Yeah, nice.
And it's quite cool to like, this is like my office here. It's quite nice to have them at kind of arm's reach as well, because I'm a nightmare with stuff like this. I just kind of be growing it and then forget I'm growing it. Just like when I put something in the oven and then forget I'm putting it in the oven.
I do that all of the time.
Oh my God, I have to set not just alarms, because the alarm will go off, but then you don't know why the alarm's gone off. You need to have a reminder as well to tell you that you've got beetroot in the oven, you know?
A reminder of a reminder.
Oh, actually, before you go, Ellen, I get so annoyed with roasted vegetables.
Why?
I know I've mentioned it before,
Why?
but whatever recipe you've got, it always takes 4 times longer than what it tells you in the recipe, right? Don't come at me. Don't come at me.
I didn't say anything.
But why can't they be more honest about the time it takes roasted vegetables to cook? That's what breaks my heart, you know?
But maybe their cooker does it quicker than your cooker.
Well, maybe my cooker's not that good, but I know you need a high temperature. You need it high up. But to be honest, I tweeted about it 2 hours ago and Nigella agrees, all right?
If Nigella agrees, then that is it.
She leaves the skin on her butternut squash as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I leave the skin on everything, not, well, for the goodness, but also because I'm too lazy to peel it.
I do as well. Like, we've had this conversation before, haven't we? Like, especially when you grow your own food, you spend all the time growing it. You get it home, then you got to spend ages preparing it or storing it or whatever it. By the time you get to cooking it, how do people find all the time? I do not have time to get the skin off potatoes, carrots, anything
That's
else.
why I'm just roasting all the vegetables.
I just chuck it, give it a good scrub, chuck it in.
Chuck you in. But yeah, so that's pretty cool.
You know, you can cook your beetroots in the microwave, don't you?
Not if it's out in the garage and I've got to get my legs wet getting there.
Well, there you go.
Oh, look at you feeding me the punchlines. There you go. 5 years working together and you finally got a sense of humour.
Oh my God.
She can leave the nest. She can now tell her own jokes.
You are so bad.
Fly, darling, fly.
I'm now going to fly away and let the dog out for a wee.
I think you should, no pun intended, buzz off. Don't you hate it when people tell bee-related jokes? They think they're so funny, but they just sound like a knob. Oh, buzz off.
Well, darling, you just said it twice, so therefore you're the one that sounds like the knob.
Oh, dear. All right, babe.
Bye, nice chatting.
Yeah, to be honest, you too. I got to be honest, Ellen, I quite enjoyed myself.
Thank you for joining us on the podcast today. Series 5 is supported by the team at Always Kalanchoe, the experts when it comes to this super cool houseplant. Why not visit www.kalanchoe.nl or follow at Always Kalanchoe on Instagram to find out more.
The music for the Plant-Based podcast is part of the song Grow by Mikey James, and our editor is Gareth Patch of Semi Echo.